Hello there to the replay viewers. Thanks for being here. As always, please invite as well as tap the screen, because your hearts are always, always appreciated. Thanks for joining us. And for those of you who are joining us live, welcome, Ed. I see Camille. I think you guys came in here really, really fast all of a sudden. So I missed a number of names, but welcome to Brian. Mr. Black is here. Madam, it looks like Madam Butterfly. That's awesome name too. Let's get the Facebook people in here while they're coming. Everyone, please welcome. Please give me your first name, where you're from, how many units you currently have. Hey Chandler, how are you? Camille is here and has already invited followers and hitting the hearts hard. I appreciate that. For those of you on Facebook, as you can see, we have a podcast on iTunes. And yes, if you want to catch up on replays, you can do that as well. You can totally do that as well. Austin in Sacramento, 0 yet. Yes, Austin, but you have an NBA team that I think is going to win the whole championship. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. With that being said, though, for those of you who are joining for the first time, my name is Jay Massey, CEO of CashFlowDiary. What we do is we create real estate investors. We do our best to help people become bigger, better, badder in that way. Eddie in Chicago with 0 units, and it's 0 units at the moment. I think Ali has joined us now, so that's good. Excellent. Excellent. Real estate CEO. I like that one. And I myself here at CashFlowDiary, guys, I've managed to help a lot of people looking to help more. That's why we're here. But most importantly, we're going to share some thoughts on doubts and fears with you today. So as you're coming on in, feel free to continue to share. Feel free to grab a cup of coffee and let's have some conversation. So is that Marco? Marco, is that you? Is that you? Didn't you guys just get a big property deal? That's pretty awesome. Good stuff. Santana's in the house. Excellent. Thank you guys for being here. Now, you saw the title, doubt and fear kill more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt and fear kill more dreams than failure ever will. How many of you, by show of hands, so let's start by being really, really transparent here. How many of you, by show of hands, have ever said to yourself something along the lines of, I don't know if I can do that? Give me a hands up emoji, just a hands up emoji. Let me know. I don't know if I can do that. And for those of you on Facebook, just so you know, I am checking your comments as well. Got it? Got to get up and go after it. Yep. I don't know if I can do that. Yep. Totally. Me, right? I've said it too. I mean, in fact, I think the challenge is learning how to deal with that as just part of who you are. You said, I don't know if I can do that. Totally understood. Absolutely. 100%. 100%, right? I gotcha. I hear you. I hear you completely. Now, let me ask you another question. How many of you have ever said something to the effect of, what if I do that and you filled in the blank with something bad happens, right? How many of you, give me another hands up if you've said, well, what if I do and I fill in that blank, but you fill in that blank, but what if I write the offer and nobody pays the rent? What if I write the offer and they say no? How many of you, give me that hands up. Yep. Same. Some of the same people raising the hands. Me too, right? We all do those things. Those things happen to all of us, right? So what we've got to ask ourselves is, what are we going to do about it? Are we okay with that? If we are okay with that, then okay, that's one thing. But if we're not, then we need to do something about it at the end of the day. And that's what I wanted to talk about, is how you can deal with your own doubts and or fears. How you can deal with your own doubts or fears. Because when it comes down to it, here's a phrase that I often tell people, right? Many people tell me that, Jay, I've got 20 years of experience. 20 years. You've been doing whatever you've been doing. I got 20 years. You say, well, Jay, I haven't been doing it 20. I've only been doing it 10. If you not 10, then 5. I've been doing this thing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, great. What I really think has happened is that you don't have 20 years of experience. You have 1 year of experience that you've repeated 20 times. That's what you have. You have 1 year of experience that you actually have just repeated 20 times. and you feel stuck, you feel concerned, like what's going to happen? Why aren't things better for me, right? And here's what I have learned. I can remember the first time I wrote the offer. The first time I wrote an offer on a property, I was absolutely nervous. It was a Friday evening, similar, maybe like, late afternoon. And the very first offer I wrote that offer, and I was absolutely terrified. Like, what if they say yes? And what if they say no? You want to talk about driving yourself crazy? First of all, here's a hint. When you do submit your first offer, do a couple of things that I didn't do. I forgot to put an expiration time on that offer, which just drove me nuts, because you should always put an expiration time on the offer. Okay, just don't do that. And then secondly, definitely submit it on a Friday. Here's why. Because it forces you to go through so many emotions, and that emotional experience is so much fun. No, I'm really kind of joking. Try to submit it on a weekday to where you can get an answer the next day. Because if you submit it on a weekend, you might have to sit there and wait because it's the weekend, right? Simply because they're not trying to do business the next day. Oh my gosh, I was stressed all because I was waiting for Monday. It was the longest weekend I think I have ever had, right? It was 2 days, but it's the same number of days, but man, I was stressed. You would have thought like I was having triplets or something. Yes, it was a roller coaster of emotions, exactly. What it did, though, is it gave me all kinds of time, more time than I would have liked, to deal with doubt and fear. That's what it does. Every time, I remember the first time I wrote a 7-figure offer. You want to talk about dealing with doubt and fear? Like simultaneously. Can I pull this off? Will this work? Is this the deal where it all falls apart? All of these things are things that I'm talking about here. Doubt and fear. They're like cousins, right? What's that? Yes, the first 7-figure offer was absolutely crazy. Because by that time, you got to understand, by that time, all I had done was a bunch of, smaller multifamilies, 10, 20, 30. Had I done a 30 unit yet? Yes. Yeah. No. Well, actually, I can't remember. I think I had done my 30 unit by that point. But most of them were really small, 8, 10s, and 12s, and hundreds of single family houses. So no one deal was, like the majority of anything at that point. So it's like, okay, whatever. It's no big deal to write an offer for a few $100,000, and just because that's what you do, you just get used to it and you're done. But that's kind of my point. Everything that you currently do today, at one point, in many cases, anything that you held in high esteem, anything that you looked up to becoming, at the beginning, you typically doubted it. That's like stage one. When that idea comes to you, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I'm the person. I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I can be the person that I see on the other end. I've become aware recently that some people say things which I think is crazy. Like, I don't know if I can do what Jay does. I'm like, who am I? I'm just a person, a husband, father, friend. I mean, you've seen, I show you some of the crazy things, right? I like drones. I've crashed most of them. That's nothing talented or special, I promise. I have a public high school diploma, right? It's just, doubts and fears affect everybody. It's just part of it, all right? That's part of it. I don't want anyone ever thinking that somehow any of the people whose books you've read, whose stages seminars you've been to, and all of these things, never think about it. If Jay can do it, I can do it, right? Ali, see, yes, exactly. That's all I'm really trying to say here. It doesn't take anything special outside of the willingness, and this is what I want you to write down. If you get anything else, maybe make like sticky notes, put this on your laptop, or bedazzle it on a shirt. I don't really care. This is the question that will help you deal with your doubts and fears. This one question. All right, I spelled it wrong. That's messed up. Here we go. Am I willing to find out? Am I willing to find out? That's the one question. if you ask yourself that repeatedly, all the time, am I willing to find out? Because oftentimes the doubts are based upon unknowns. Fears are also based upon unknowns, or at least perceived knowns, right? Things that you think might happen or could happen. The question you just have to ask yourself is, am I willing to find out? Now, here's the interesting thing about that question. Am I willing to find out? Sometimes the answer is no, I'm just not willing. And that's okay. That's an okay answer, right? That is an okay answer. There's nothing wrong with it. But most of the time you don't know, right? You don't know. Like I know for me, starting on, doing this live streaming thing, like, what is that about? I don't know. Is anybody going to watch? Why? What do you mean? It's on your phone? How does this work? And can I do this live? Live is completely different. Many of you probably know about the podcast that we have in iTunes, right? You know about the podcast. You see the link right there. The idea is that that's pre-recorded, though. I can make it sound perfect. This is not pre-recorded. Many of you, either on Facebook and or Periscope, you've seen crazy stuff happen. My kids run through the background, microphones drop, me forget the microphone, whatever, all kinds of things, doubts and fears. That's how I found you, my podcast. Oh, cool. Excellent. Yes, and that's good. A lot of people find us there, and a lot more people are here. This is live and raw. Tell me about it. And live and raw comes with a certain extra level of accountability, right? I've got to be ready for the questions you guys throw at me. Fortunately, though, I don't have to quote unquote study, because it's just what I do every day. It's really, really simple. It was pretty funny. Okay, don't tell her I said this. My wife, we were looking at a property, and it was like, I don't know, $750,000. All right, so it's around the street from here. I'm whispering like she can't hear me, like whatever. Anyway, and she was looking at the numbers. We were deciphering the whole thing, and in my head it was 30-second decision. And she was looking at the numbers. She's like, the numbers make me nervous, and I get that. She doesn't deal with it every day. You give me her job, i.e. dealing with all 4 of our kids, I'm probably going to be nervous and a mess, because I'm like, can I do this? Suddenly I'm into doubt and fear. All right. And my whole point here is doubt and fear just means you are in a state of unknowns. You don't have any reference points yet of what your performance is going to be. And what I'm asking you to do is to give yourself a shot. Give yourself a shot at finding out. And again, the question is, am I willing to find out? Am I willing to find out? And there's only one way to find that out. Roderick is asking, Jay, do you go over how to evaluate property within the PAQ? No, that's more in the market analysis, Roderick. That is more within the market analysis. So for those of you wondering, and what you're probably like, what is Roderick talking about? He's actually one of our core members, and inside there he was asking a question about a very particular training. My point, though, is that in this sense, all right, what we've got, how do you change your screen? Whoa. Okay, I think Great Brilliance, welcome. You probably, okay, that reminds me. Let me reset and recap. For those of you who are just now joining us, whether on Facebook or Periscope, welcome. My name is Jay Massey, CEO of CashFlowDiary. What we do is we create real estate investors. That's my job. That's what I enjoy doing. In addition to running a real estate portfolio of my own, raising capital, buying deals, and doing the thing, we also help other people in various different countries. I mean, we have people in Spain and Italy. We did a podcast with one of them earlier today, which was pretty awesome. We have people that do all kinds of things. I myself have known for apartment buildings, raising capital, as well as cell phone towers and wholesaling. Those are the types of areas that I tend to play in. So if you like what you're hearing, great. Do me a favor, just tap on the little dude right over here in the corner, right over there in the corner, and on tap him, tap my name, tap follow if you're on Periscope, and if you are on Facebook, just hit the live notifications button, which should be in the video or on the lower left as well. Who helped you learn Periscope and set up equipment? This is called, okay, so now we're right back to what I was talking about, Marcos. This is exactly my point. And there's doubt and fear, right? Now here's the cool thing. The cool thing is that we've been, quote unquote, live streaming for a while to our members. So we had some of the understanding already, and then Periscope and Facebook Live come along. So, but I had to face the doubt and fear of doing it. Like right now, it's just me. There is no, I had two other guys. I mean, when I go to the studio, there's two other people on the other side. They're working the tech and making things work and all this other stuff. And I just have to focus on which camera I'm supposed to look at. But over the past couple of weeks, I've taken this, for lack of a better way, of putting a crash course on how does Periscope work? How does Facebook Live work? What technology do we need? How do we put it together? How do we make it all go? And I like to, and you want to write this down. I like to fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently. I'll say that again. The best way you're going to ever get rid of doubt and fear, that you got to fight this thing. It's not something that's just going to magically go away. It is to fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently. And if you're willing to do that, then you got a shot. And that's what I did. I mean, there were a couple of streams. Some of you know that part of the challenge is understanding, or you went through this learning curve with me. I kept doing presentations and streams, and you're like, we can't hear you. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. Or you're like, it's upside down, or it's crooked, or it's this, or it's something happened, lost the sound. Oh no. We went through that, right? And recently they've gotten a little bit smoother. We still have some other things to work out as I'm beginning to add new capabilities to the system, but it's trial and error, man. I've let fear stop me from putting out bandit signs, one of the most simple things to do. Yes, Austin, I totally understand. My biggest obstacle is not knowing the next step. I get stuck when I talk to sellers. Camille, I don't think you actually get stuck. I think what happens, because here's what happens to most humans. What happens to most humans is right here. When our emotions go up, things like our ability to be logical go way down. And when we're dealing with something that is of great impact, okay, so you were dealing with a business, your business, the idea of business, being able to make this thing work for you. And especially if we have kids that are depending on us, the idea of, oh my gosh, if I can get just this one deal, do you know what that means for me and my family? Oh my goodness. And emotions go up, which makes it difficult to maintain any sort of logical, all right, what am I doing, right? Same thing happens to new moms, you know. The child sneezes and they're ready to go to the emergency room. I'm like, it's a sneeze. Santana, I used to put out bandit signs in Maryland. They always got taken down the same night. Yeah, we had similar people taking down our bandit signs. I eventually just stopped putting them out because I hated it going out there at that time of night. It just always made me feel uncomfortable. So I just stopped doing it. But Camille, one of the reasons that you've got to remember these three letters right here. You got to remember these three letters, guys. PDR. Practice, drill, and rehearse. This is your magic key. This is your magic key. The more PDR, practice, drilling, and rehearsing you do, the better. Because most of the time, when you are getting on the phone to talk to that seller, most of the time when you're trying to raise the capital, most of the time you're doing that, that's the first time you've practiced. You haven't practiced, you haven't drilled, you haven't rehearsed, and it's game day, and you're trying to play the game from some memory and muscle that you haven't built yet. And again, when that happens, we panic, emotions go up, logic goes down, thinking is just like out the window. It gets really, really tough. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what happens to a number of people. Let me check in with the Facebook people really, really quickly, see what these guys are saying over here. Whoops. As well. Let me see. Where did it go? Excellent. I see A.D. Hinton, Rudy Gonzalez, Michael is here. I have no real estate knowledge. Where do I start? I have no real estate knowledge. Where do I start? I know you. I know who you learned from. Okay. Yes, Michael. We all have to learn. Hello, Mr. J. Massey from Alabama. Yes. Excellent. And let me see who else is here. Oh, we have another people. Paul Hopkins, Zelvin, Tawana. Thanks, guys, for being. Joyce and Jerry. Thanks all of you guys for being here. Yes. And that's one of the best things that I like about that's one of the best things that I like about the whole idea of, you know, the way business should work. I mean, if any of you guys think about it, you got to practice, drill, and rehearse through the apprenticeship system originally. And that's where you got to work out those kinks. And unfortunately, it's not something we necessarily believe in as much as we used to. Where can I find sellers? Like, do you think they're hanging out in like a bar or something? I just want to understand the question. It's not like there's a store you can go to. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the question. Is playing the cash flow game your main only method to find buyers? No, not really. No, the brilliance, great brilliance. There's many different ways, and so let me get. I think I know the question, so let me answer both of those with this. Everything works and nothing doesn't. Right? You can either hunt or fish, or hunt or farm, your choice. And you have to have techniques that when it's time to hunt, i.e. go somewhere and get new leads, you need a way to do that. The other one is you can farm and learn how to attract people to you. Here's my point in all of that, is that unfortunately, too many of us aren't willing to try anything without seeing everything, meaning we have too many doubts and too many fears to even start without being willing to take a leap and figure it out on the way. Being willing to take a leap and figuring it out on the way. There is no perfect answer to where can you find sellers. That's like asking a doctor, or where do you find sick people, so that they can come to his practice. So I totally missed. I missed that last one. That's me. I'm under a lot of pressure. Yeah, Camille, I understand. That's why I was thinking of you when I was saying that. That's why I was answering. And then it says, I know I can find property owners on websites buying lists like MLS data, but I like real world. Yeah, well, and I typically teach real world techniques for finding those people. And that's typically what it comes down to. You just got to understand that you're not looking. The challenge is that you're looking for sellers, or you're looking for property, and you need to be looking for problems, and people have problems. And when you learn to market yourself as a solution provider of problems or specific types of problems, then the deals will find you. The challenge is you're hunting, and you should be farming. What is your best program for a beginner who is very comfortable talking to people? Right here. Nope, sorry, wrong one. Is that this one? There you go. That would be the best one right there. CashFlowDiary.com/rock solid. There you go. So, that's funny. You've got them loaded. Yes, because I keep getting the question, Camille. I had to find an answer to. When you go back and review some of those older scopes, what happens is I spent too much time having to repeat myself on those things, and I'm like, I want to teach more. So I had to find a simpler way of answering their question, and I did. Right? My aspiration is to be like you. Okay, be careful what you ask for. How much time and effort does it usually take someone to make money if they put in the work? I love this question. I think we just, hold on, there might be a scope on that one from yesterday. I think we just answered that one on replay. And again, for those of you on Facebook, if you're wondering where can I find those replays, they are at CashFlowDiary.tv. But I seriously think we just answered that question yesterday. You need a flash clip for that question. Don't tempt me, Camille. I will figure out a way to do that. I'm here in Cincinnati, just graduated from a real estate management program. Awesome, cool. Are you a property manager already, or what? How much you charge for your courses? They always vary. We have some as low as $8, and we have individual study with me that goes up to $90,000 with some insane guarantees. Michael Del Pree is in the house. What's up, sir? Up at Phoenix, isn't it? Oh no, is Phoenix on the same time zone right now? Is Phoenix on Pacific time at the moment, Mike? I just don't remember if is it an hour later for you guys right now? Let me see. I am trying to find someone asked the question about how long is it going to take to get a deal done, and I think I answered that question yesterday. What are the exact steps? Live podcast? Yep, I did. So that question, we did an entire scope on, and the title is literally, so how long will it take to get your first real estate deal? That is exactly what it was. That's exactly was the title. So if you just go check out the replays, if that's your question, instead of answering it again, you can just watch the replay of the actual answer. That was the whole thing. What are nuances of doing wholesaling in the expensive Bay Area? Oh, you're up there? Y'all got some crazy. That's just crazy. I'm interested in wholesaling, but the problem I'm having experienced wholesalers. I'll definitely watch the replay. Good. Yes. Okay. Well, all right, guys. So now I have to tell you tomorrow, because again, I keep getting the same question. We are doing a live masterclass with me. So for 2 hours with me, I am going over the 7-step process as it relates to wholesaling. I gave a preview of what that looked like earlier today. So if you look through earlier today's scopes, you'll see the 7 steps that we're going to go through, what we're going to talk about, what they mean, how to get it done, so that at the end of that 2 hour time, you're going to know whether you're in the Bay Area, whether you're in New York, Canada, I don't really care this place, but what it's going to take to get it done. Okay? I'm in New York City, nothing but retail prices. Santana, yeah, I understand. It's not that there's nothing but retail prices. You just don't know how to build what I call a supply chain. And once that's again, this is why we're doing masterclasses. This is why I produce information. Bay Area nuances. Is it harder there? It's not that it's harder. There's just more inherent risk when you have less experience, because your entry price for experience is much higher than other places. That's really what I care about. That's really what I'm trying to mention here. So, for example, when you're first learning, you want to take small mistakes. You want to make small steps so that if you make a mistake, it doesn't hurt as bad. So if you're working on $50,000 houses, then that's one thing. If you're working on $500,000 1-bedroom condos, like you guys are, that's a completely different. It's just a completely different level of intensity and risk with the same level of experience. I've always said you do your first deals for experience, not profit. Then later you get to profit from your experience, and that's why. Where do you recommend finding info on the ins and outs of Periscope? Any good mentors? And it's still too new at the moment. That's part of the problem. It's still too stinking new to find a mentor for Periscope. But there's people who have bits and pieces of it. What do I think about wholesaling land? It makes money. I don't care what you wholesale. Everything is, Arvin Pool's a good one. Arvin Pool has great information. I don't know if he has a course or anything. What do I think about wholesaling land? I think anything that you can wholesale that someone would buy is great. It doesn't really bother me. You're going to have the same process. It's the same system. It's the same assembly line, regardless of the asset. That's what I'm really trying to say. A course called Perry. Okay, cool. If he has one, then great. Tell them the Disneyland story. Oh, right. Exactly. Right, Michael. Sorry, it took me a second to think. I was like, Disneyland. Sorry, what's he talking about? Of course you do. You have a cell phone tower. Well, no, exactly. That's my point. It's the same process. The process of getting the cell phone tower is the same process of buying an apartment building. It's the same process of buying a single family house. Same process of buying a piece of land. That's why I'm just like, let me teach you these systems and processes, and you go deploy them. And I've had the privilege of teaching in many different countries, and we've got students all over the globe who use it successfully. He needs a clip for his stories too. Camille, you're quite right. You're quite right. I could use a clip for the stories. as well. I guess you're going to force me to invest in some more computer equipment so I can have like clips over here ready to go and to insert and all kinds of interesting things. That would be funny if I could just come on. Ooh, that's this clip. Hit A. Boom. Done. That would be fun, but I don't have any of that, so you just get me. But yeah, when it comes to land, just understand Disneyland, Disney World, all of these places were built to put together piece by piece. Walt Disney went around and negotiated each one separately and did what is technically today called an assemblage, where you take individual parcels and you put them all together. I mean, it was a really large real estate transaction. So yeah, wholesaling land works. If it's valuable and people want it, you can wholesale it because people want it. Is there a buyer for it? That's really what that is. And don't let, again, this is back to doubt and fear. We create extra roadblocks and obstacles. So this is what we've been talking about, doubt and fear. We've been talking about this. We create extra roadblocks and obstacles around our doubts and fears. We think somehow it's going to be different. It's going to be different because I'm in New York. It's going to be different because I'm in Canada. It's going to be different because I'm in LA. It's going to be different because I'm tall, I'm short. It's going to be different because I'm a single mom. It's going to be harder because of this. It's always going to be harder because of your unique situation. And that's just like the human condition. We think that way. My challenge is to everybody is to remember to ask the question, are you willing to find out? Don't go and cut off that dream without tangible evidence that proves to you, that says, you know what? Yep, you're right. I can't do that. And then actually by the time you get to I can't do that, it won't be I can't do it. It'll be, you know what? I just don't want to do that. I would rather do something else. That's what happened to me when I started with tax deeds, tax liens, short sales, fixing and flipping. I tried all of these things. Probate. Oh my God. I was pretty good at the probate process. However, I didn't like the time frame it took to actually get a deal done. It didn't work for me. It's like, man, I can get these people on the phone. One of the things I like about probate is you're the first one there, but it takes too long to close the deal. I really need to overcome this hurdle. I've been working on my first deal for a year. Well, Camille, we're going to take care of that tomorrow, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to take care of that tomorrow because it's mostly up here than it is anywhere else. And that's kind of my message to you this evening, this afternoon, right? For those of you that have just joined, welcome. My name is Jay Massey, CEO of CashFlowDiary. And what we do is we're talking about fear and doubt and how they plague us, stop us. And most importantly, what we do is we create real estate investors. Been doing so for a number of years. Pretty excited about it and like to continue doing so. So here's the final question. When has believing your doubt actually been a benefit? When has it brought you more of what it is you've desired? Has it ever brought you more? I have a hard time finding times where that's the case. And my point is simply to understand that it's not serving you. So be willing to ask the question. Am I willing? Yes, doubt has only brought you more doubt. Oh, Michael, you cracked me up, man. Yes, doubt brings more doubt. Yay! Look, I had some, now I have a lot. Would you like some too? No, I would not, sir, but thank you. Is tomorrow's class recorded? Yes, it will be. It will be. Yes, it will be. And those that register will have access to the recording. You are correct. Oh my gosh. Tara says, I had to come to Facebook. Periscope was acting crazy. I'm the real estate graduate interested in wholesaling, but here in Cincinnati, they act very shady. I'm calling other wholesalers like my professor suggested to get some nuggets and network, and they act very shady. I want to immediately start my business, and I'm working on my business plan. Hold on. I'm just I'll show you guys because that way you can see what I'm looking at the same time on Facebook. I want to immediately start my business plan as we speak. I'm kind of fearful now because of the rejection. I also wanted to know, where do I get the purchase, sale agreement, assignment agreement contracts? How do I start like now, especially since I had a list of vacant properties just sitting at a good price? Whew. Tara, thank you for your perseverance. First of all, you just proved something to me that is very important. One, the many people stop at that first no. For example, Periscope was giving you a challenge. You said, no, I've got to get this information. And then you said, I'm going over to Facebook because you knew we were putting it. It's also there. That's step number one. That's impressive. Step number two is you actually took the time to write all of this right now. And I can only imagine how fast you were trying to type, hoping that the stream didn't end before I saw it. I can only imagine that was going through your head. So I have to answer this, which is great. And you also have to understand, when you're networking with other people who are in the business of doing what you're doing, they're not in the business of educating you. They're just in the business of doing what they're doing. There's no incentive for them to necessarily educate you. I'm in the business of doing what you're doing, but I'm also in the business of education. I happen to enjoy the education and training more because I get to help more people. I feel like I can create more entrepreneurs than I can ever buy property. And through the people, they'll be able to go out there and do more. Like, I don't know if Marcos is still here. I know that they're working on a 382 unit apartment complex. That makes me feel good. I'm sure I'm only 0.00001% of influence on that, but I'm excited about it for them. I know Mike, who's here, has managed to make partnerships and get deals done. And it, again, 0.00001% on that, but I'm excited for that. These are people that are getting help that I could have never helped in anywhere more than that. Thank you. I appreciate that. But what I'm saying, you get my point. You did the work, and maybe I just gave you the nod to, nudged you in the correct direction. So, Tara, tomorrow's class comes with the purchase and sale agreement and the assignment agreement, just so you know. I don't know if you were attending tomorrow or if that was part of your plan. And how to start, especially like now, is exactly why we're doing this 2-hour masterclass. That's exactly why the 2-hour masterclass is happening, is because I keep getting this same question, right? Do you ever go filling them out? Tomorrow, I do. I do tomorrow, Camille. Yes, yes. So we just got to keep to time. I can't go too far in depth, but yeah, is the information covered tomorrow similar to deals at discounts? It's very similar, but it's, again, it's going to be different things that are covered, simply because I know I've got to go through the entire process in 2 hours. And it's taken from deals at discounts, but it's also going to be geared to do these things right now. And because the deals at discounts goes really, really deep. Right now, I just want to get people to write offers and get deals done. Get into escrow. I'm sorry, I missed that last one. I'm sorry, I totally missed what you said. And Tara says, thank you so much. You are quite welcome, Tara. Like I said, I enjoy what I do. Okay, got it. I saw that. Is it income infusion? No, it's not income infusion, Kamel, but we are going to do parts of income infusion, because we've got to get you got to learn how to get on the phone, right? Oh, this is Vince, Marcos's partner. Okay, I didn't know who that was. All right, thanks, Vince. But I've got to help you get on the phone, know what to say, get off the phone with the correct appointments. When you get on the property, you got to know what to say, more importantly, what not to say. But more important than either one of those is what to ask, so that you end up with the deal at the end of the day, so you can do your 3-option LOI. And if that didn't make sense to you, I totally get it. But that's why what we're doing is going over all of the details in terms of the of the process of doing wholesaling. We've been talking about it for a while, and one of the things that stops so many people is the fact that we have these fears and these doubts. For those of you who joined or just joined recently, because people join the live stream all the time, they come and they go. My name is Jay Massey, CEO of CashFlowDiary. What we do is we help you become, yes, you right there staring at me right now. Whether you're still looking at the replay or not, doesn't matter. I'm talking to you. We help you become a real estate investor, learning the steps, not just getting a deal done, but actually building a business. That's what gets me excited. And we've been talking about doubts and fears, how they get in the way, more importantly, what to do to get around them. And that one thing I need you to do is to ask this question: am I willing to find out? Am I willing to find out? If you are willing to find out, you can work with that. You're not done yet. Long as you're willing to find out. But if you're not willing to find out, just also know that that's an okay place to be. I just hope you're still willing to find out. With that being said, this has gone significantly longer than I originally intended, but you guys had some good questions. To those of you on Facebook, thanks for being here. If you want to always remember, you can catch replays at CashFlowDiary.tv. CashFlowDiary.tv, they're typically there for 24 hours. And we have a podcast in iTunes. The podcast is in iTunes. Feel free to go pick that up. It's also in Stitcher and Google Play and all other places. Camille, you are quite welcome. And you can go get it at CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com, CashFlowDiaryPodcast.com. To those of you who will be joining us at the masterclass tomorrow, come on down. I look forward to seeing you. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys there early in the morning. We start at 8:30. Well, early my morning. We start at 8:30 Pacific time. We're starting at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can just go to CashFlowDiary.com/masterclass. Grab your seat and get your registration details. Hopefully I'll see you there. It's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.